with regards to this, let me show you my Next.js project. This is my Next.js project, and you could see that I have displayed hello on the screen. So when first of all, I already start my server. So let me stop my server, and now let me start my server for us to see what is being displayed on our screen. So npm run dev. Now when you click on enter, and our server starts on the localhost 3000. Okay, localhost 3000. When you go to our localhost 3000 and refresh, we see that hello is being displayed on our screen. So that's basically what our Next.js is absolutely doing right now. So let me head towards to my Firebase and implement Firebase with Next.js. So with regards to this, when you open the Firebase website for the first time, you need to log in or sign up so that you can get access to the Firebase console. So you just only have to type firebase.com and register. So when you register, you'll be redirected to this page. When you come to this page, all you need to do now is look on your right hand side, the corner. You could see that there is a text being displayed there as go to console. So you click on go to console. The moment you click on go to console, you'll be redirected to this page. So when you are redirected to this page, now all you need to do now is to create our first project. So let's click on create new project. You could see that when you click on create new project, you'll be directed here. Now you have been asked to give the project a name. So let me give the project a name of, let's say, YouTube. Okay, I've given the project name as YouTube. So all you need to do now is click on what? Continue. When you click on continue, and now since you are not going to implement Google Analytics, so we turn it off. Now we click on create project. When you click on create project, now we wait for our projects to be built. So let's wait a minute for our project to build up so that we'll be able to link our Firebase to our Next.js project. Okay, so if our project is being built up, so all you need to do now is click on continue. When you click on continue, you'll be redirected to this page. Since you are going to be dealing with Firestore, so you come here at your left corner, you could see build. You click on build, and you scroll downwards, you see Firestore database. Then you click on it. When you click on Firestore database, you'll be presented with this page. Let's wait a while for our page to load so that we'll click. Okay, our page is being loaded up here. You could see there here, you could see create database. So with regards to now, you need to create our database. So you click on create new database. Or yeah, you click on create database rather. When you click on create database, you see you'll be directed here. All you just need to click, or what you just need to do now is click on next. You'll be redirected here. But with regards to this, we have test mode and what production mode. But with regards to this, I'm just going to go with the default, which is production mode. So continue. Okay, let's wait for our page to load up. Oh, today my internet is kind of slow. Whilst okay, our page is loading up. Okay, when our page is being loaded up, you see that will be presented this here. So first of all, let's create but before that, let me show you where we can link our Firebase to our Next.js. So head to our topmost part of where we already selected our destination Firestore. So we just have to scroll up a little bit. You can see that project view. When you click on project view, there's a little bit of setting icon here. Just click on it and click on project settings. When you click on project settings, you'll be directed to this page. All you just need to do is scroll downwards. Now you need to implement what type we are going to take into consideration. First of all, we have iOS, Android, and web browser. Since you are going to use it at the web browser side. So you click on the web browser aspect, you'll be redirected here. Now we need to give, or we need to register our Next.js app. So let's give it a name of, let's see, YouTube. You can give it any name. It shouldn't be YouTube as the project name. So let me just give it YouTube underscore details. Okay, now click on continue, or click on register rather, sorry. Okay, when you click on register, you'll be presented with this sheet that will help us implement the Firestore in our Next.js. So first of all, let me copy this line of code, which basically help us install our SDK in our Next.js. So I'll copy this line of code. Now let me stop my browser. Okay, now let me clear my terminal. Let me enlarge my terminal a little bit. Now let me paste the code I copied, which basically say npm install Firebase. Now click on enter, and let our Firebase SDK being installed for us in our Next.js project. So whilst we are waiting for our Firebase SDK to be installed, let's open the website and check one or two things. You could see that below, you could see that we have been presented with this line of code, and this line of code will basically help us to inculcate or implement our Next.js in our help us implement our Firebase in our Next.js. So let me check whether to see my package is being installed. Okay, my package is still being installed. Okay, whilst we are waiting for our package to install, let me basically go straight to how to implement this chunk of code. Now let's copy this line of code. Let's copy it. Now head to our website. Now let's head to our code editor. You could see that in our code editor, there are a lot of files being placed here. You need to come out of all the file and create a file and give it a name. So just click on this icon here, which will help you create a file. Then, sorry for this. Okay, let me click on, you come outside of the file where the file should be located in the package.json, where the package.json is being located. So you come out of all the folders. Now you click on this file. Now give it a name. Let me name it, let's say firebase.ts. Okay, .tsx. Now we have created our file. Now let's right click on our file. You will see that nothing is being placed here. Now let's paste the code that we copied in Firebase. This is basically the code that we copied in Firebase. And wait a minute, you could see that our SDK have basically been installed in our Next.js project. So now let's clear our terminal. Now let's open our browser and now click on continue to console. When you click on continue to console, you could see that this, and you scroll down, you could see this here. So basically you have created our website, or should I say our package that will help us link our Next.js to our Firebase. So this is the same code. If should in case you mistakenly click on continue, this is basically the instruction again that will help you basically create or basically install the package and also copy the code that we earlier copied. So it's basically here again. So afterwards, all you need to do now is click on build. No, sorry, you click on here, you could see that project shortcut, you will see Firestore database. Now let's create information in our database. So click on start collection. Now let's give a collection a name. Let me give it a collection name of, let's see, country. Now let's click on next. So when you click on next, you'll be redirected here. Here is where you need to implement your individual rules in our table. So, and with regards to that, we call it docs in Firebase. So when you come here, you could see that auto ID. We need to give our first element an auto ID, or you can just give it a number. So I'll click on auto ID, you will see that a generated number is being given here. So here I need to give the country name. Let me give country. Okay, let me type here name, and let me give the country name of, let's say, Germany. Okay, now let me save it, or let me click on save. You will see that this have been created for us. You will see that country have been created here, and we also have a document, or should I say we have a collection name of country, and we have a document name of the ID, this ID, and we have it filled to be Germany. Let me add another document. So to add another document, you just click on add docs and click on generate. And now let's type, the first field was name, and the country name that we need to give here is, let me just give it a country name of, let's say, Spain. Now when you click on save, you will see that I've been able to add 2 items in my collections, which is basically the document. So now let me move to my code editor and start implementing how to fetch data from our Firebase. So in this Firebase file, all we just need to do here is create let's create, first of all, let's create let me see, a variable. So const let me give a variable name of db is equal to. So now since we are going to use Firestore here, so we need to initialize the Firestore here. So we just give it, the function name is get Firestore. So get Firestore. So basically this is the function, and the function need to be imported. So import get Firestore. Let's okay, copy the function look correctly. So get Firestore. Okay, from let's see, Firebase. Okay, is that right? Firebase slash okay Firestore. So basically we need to import our get Firestore from Firebase Firestore. Now we need to initialize our app. So all we just need to do now is call the function and pass the argument as app, and afterwards we need to export the variable that we created. So export fb, okay, no, export default fb. So basically we are exporting this variable so that this variable will be able to be called in another file. Let me change the variable to db so that we'll get it really simple. So the variable name is db and we have exported it. So all we just need to do now is save it and now close out. We need to import our doc. So import doc, okay, from Firebase Firestore. Okay, this is not the doc that I'm looking for. So doc is basically this doc, and also I need to import my get doc as well. So these two things that will help us get the information from our Firebase. Now what we need to know now is create a variable. So let me create a variable. Okay, const, and give the variable name, let's say doc ref, okay, is equal to, and now we need to call the doc function. So in the doc function we need to pass some argument, and the first argument that we need to pass is what our database this db that we exported here. So all we just need to do is db. So when you just type db, since we exported it here, you will see that it will be called here. So we just click on db to import it from that part of the file, then comma, then now we need to call the path to our database in what in this aspect. So in our database, you could see that we have a country. So all we just need to do now is copy country. Now let's paste country here. Then afterwards, we need to create another function. We need to create another variable and give it a name of, let's say, data details. And now initialize the get doc function. After initializing the get doc function, all you just need to do is pass the doc ref as our argument. Doc ref as our argument. Now the only thing that we need to do now is console log to see whether our data will come to. So console.log, then data detail. So basically we are telling the browser to console log the information that we get here. So now let's save it. Now let's open our browser. Now let's inspect our console and see what happened. You can see that nothing happened. Now let's refresh our page and see. Okay, the reason why nothing is happening is because we stopped our server. So now let's run our server. So npm run dev. Okay, let's wait for our server to start. Okay, our server is starting. Okay, now let's open our browser. Now let's refresh. Okay, now let's refresh and see what happens. Let's wait for it. Okay, we could see that we are receiving an error, which is basically saying invalid document ref. Don't reference must have an even number of segments. So with regards to this, since we called this element, so we need to call the key to get the specific item, which is this one. So all we just need to do is after our country, we just pass slash, then input our key. Now when we save it and head to our browser and now refresh, you could see that there is a promise coming through. So when you click on the promise, you could see that it's said here the promise is pending. So with regards to this, I'm going to make this function an await function so that it will wait for the promise to finish loading, so we will get our data easily. So now make it an await. Now when we save it and now head to our browser, now let's refresh and see what happened. When we refresh, you will see that we are still getting. The reason why we are still getting this is because this file was supposed to be outside of any folder. So I made the mistake by saving it in my app directory, which shouldn't be so. It should be saved at the directory of, let's say, the directory in which you can find my package.json and yeah, my package.json and my Next.js config file. So it should be saved outside the folder. So afterwards, all we just need to do now is this our DP part will be changed. So we just cancel it and now try to import the DB. So let's import it. So import DB from dot slash Firebase. So now let's save it. And when we save it, you can see that now let's open our browser and now let's refresh. You can see that we are still getting a promise. All we need to do now is implement await also here, since it's still giving us a promise. So let me implement an await function here. Now when this function is being called, it has to wait for some minutes to fetch the data. So afterwards, all we just need to do is now call dot data on this our on this our variable. So we just have to add dot data to this our variable. So now let's save it. Now let's open our browser. So now when we refresh, you will see that our element is being displayed here, and you will see that our name is being displayed here. So when we open our browser now let me try displaying the name on the screen. So all I need to do now is call my variable name, which is data dot data function. Then I'll give you the name dot name. Let me see, and let me see it. Open my browser. You'll see that Germany is being displayed on what, on my screen. So basically this is how to use Firebase, but I'm going to